Happy Friday, everybody. Max here with your fix of gaming news. Coming up, we got some bad news for PlayStation fans as Sony cancels more unannounced projects, Hollow Knight developers are teasing something sweet that could be Silksong related, and Square Enix found a fluffy, yellow, and ridiculous way of celebrating FF7 Rebirth getting Steam Deck verified. Let's get into it. Continuing the frustrating trend of canceling more games than they actually release, Sony has pulled the plug on two more unannounced projects that were in development at Bluepoint and Bend Studio, and unsurprisingly, these were both live service projects. This news comes by way of Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, and while we don't currently have any details on the Bend project, Bluepoint's game was reportedly going to be set in the God of War universe. A Sony spokesperson didn't comment on what the projects were, but confirmed the cancellations and added that the company has no plans to close either studio right now, but will instead be working with both of them to, quote, determine what are the next projects. Sony bet big on live service this generation, and from what I'm seeing right now, it seems pretty safe to say that gamble didn't quite pay off. Back in 2022, Sony acquired Destiny developer Bungie for $3.6 billion with a B dollars, and at one point the plan was to have 12 entire live service games up and running by the end of the 2025 fiscal year, which ends on March 31st, 2026. After several years in development and millions of dollars spent, Naughty Dog's multiplayer spin on The Last of Us was preemptively scrapped in late 2023 so the studio could focus on single-player games, which is what they're best at. Helldivers 2 kicked off 2024 with a bang and was PlayStation's fastest-selling game of all time, largely thanks to its simultaneous PC launch. And then whatever momentum that gave Sony's live service push, it came to a screeching halt when Firewalk Studios' big-budget hero shooter Concord was taken offline less than 3 weeks post-launch. Looking ahead, Sony still does have a couple more live service projects in the works that we know about. There's Fair Games, the heist-based extraction shooter from Jade Raymond's recently formed Haven Studios, and then there's Marathon, which is Bungie's rebooted multiplayer spin on its beloved pre-Halo FPS, and then of course there is the rumored Guerrilla Horizon Online project, and if there's one thing that Sony's been pushing as much as live service, it's the Horizon series, so we'll see how that one goes. Bend Studio has been responsible for some terrific single-player PlayStation games over the years, and also Bubsy 3D, and Bluepoint is behind some of the best remakes and remasters of all time, so it's a real shame to see both studios' talents being squandered chasing a flavor of the month business model that clearly isn't really panning out to Sony's expectations. So here's hoping their next projects play to their strengths a little bit better and hopefully see the light of day. Shifting gears from depressing AAA news to extremely silly indie news, Hollow Knight fans are convinced the developer is teasing something related to Silksong, the sequel to the hit Metroidvania that was announced 7 whole years ago. On January 15th, Hollow Knight's developer Team Cherry's co-director William Pellin posted a cryptic tweet reading, quote, "Something big is coming. Keep your eyes closed tomorrow." A day later, which was yesterday, something big definitely came in the form of Nintendo finally revealing the Switch 2, with the news that we would be learning more during a Nintendo Direct that was going to be held on April 2nd. Okay, now here is where it gets a little bit weird. Some Reddit sleuths noted that Pellin had made a few changes to his profile. For starters, the avatar had been changed to a photo of a cake. The handle was also now Every Druid Was WR, and his name was now Little Bomi. A reverse image search for the cake led to a Bon Appetit recipe for a Brooklyn blackout cake that was posted on April 2nd of last year. Okay, so maybe that's a coincidence, but hold that thought because it gets a little bit weirder. Digging a little bit deeper, the account for the band Imagine Dragons posted something very similar to Pellin's message, writing "Eyes Closed" tomorrow to tease the release of a music video for the song called Eyes Closed. The date of this post was, of course, April 2nd of last year. Now, the name Little Bomi is a little bit puzzling. Little Boomy is the name of a wine produced in Adelaide, Australia, where Team Cherry is also based. The first search result for it pulls up a winesearcher.com page for a vintage that went on sale in April 2024. Okay, that's a little bit thin. On the other hand, Little Boney was a nickname for Napoleon Bonaparte, and on April 2nd, he had his second marriage, and it was also the day that his remains were transferred to his final resting place in Paris. Not like his wedding day, it was April 2nd, a different year, but you get the idea. Either way, it's kind of a walk. Now the handle Every Druid Was doesn't make a ton of sense. It seems like a word is being cut short by the platform's 15-character limit for usernames, and there's some speculation it means something like Every Druid Was Wrong, and maybe that's connected to Hollow Knight lore, because there's a druid in the game, I think, but it could also be something related to a world record, because that's what WR stands for, maybe something related to speedrunning world records with druids. I don't know, I dug around looking for Diablo Diablo speedruns. Didn't have any luck there, though a lot of people were playing Diablo 2 doing Druid speedruns in April of 2020, but not on the 2nd. Anyway, maybe there's more to uncover here, or maybe this is just a very cryptic scattershot way of hinting that Silksong will finally get a release date during this Nintendo Direct, which, if you haven't been paying attention, is officially happening on April 2nd. The Direct, not the announcement of Silksong release date. Don't quote me on that one. That's happening whenever it happens. I want Silksong to happen as much as it happens for you. Good luck to all the Hollow Knight fans out there. I know it's been probably a very long wait for that game. So anyway, maybe there's more to uncover here, or maybe this is just a very cryptic scattershot way of hinting that Silksong will finally get a release date during this Nintendo Direct, which is officially happening on April 2nd, with or without Hollow Knight, hopefully with. And finally, fantastically, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is hitting PC next week, and to tease that, plus the fact that it's now officially verified to run on Steam Deck, Square Enix made some custom Steam Decks that look like chocobos? Yup, they sure did. There are 3 of them, and no, you can't buy them. They're just for promotional stuff, and Square Enix hinted they might be doing some kind of a giveaway, but no details on that right now. Though honestly, playing a 100-hour RPG on this thing seems gross at best and a major fire hazard at worst. The Steam Deck gets pretty toasty under normal circumstances, and I feel like a furry yellow sweater being on one while you're playing FF7 Rebirth probably isn't going to help matters much. Anyway, FF7 Rebirth hits PC on January 23rd, and please, before you get into it, remember that the game director politely asked players not to install any inappropriate mods, so everybody be on your best behavior. That is your fix of gaming news for Friday, January 17th. We got a holiday weekend here in the US in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so there will not be a fix on Monday, but we'll be back here on Tuesday. Until then, go check out all of our various Switch 2 coverage, which went up over the past couple days, and for all of your gaming news, you're already in the right place, IGN, and also, here's a puppy. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you around.